maybe like a year and a half after I actually had my last drink, I decided to tell my wife. And part of the reason was because, I had been going to these AA meetings and I'd been seeing people just suffering. And I just felt like I started to feel like all of the guilt that I felt when I was in active addiction, I was still feeling guilty, but not about my drinking. I was feeling guilty because I knew I had found a solution, something that worked for me, and I was unwilling to tell other people about it under my own name. So I had done what I could sort of anonymously, but I didn't get anywhere. And, I have a fair number of readers and I have a podcast that a lot of people listen to. I have a lot of followers on Twitter and places like that. And I just felt guilty. Like I was seeing the effects of alcoholism and the people around me. And I wasn't willing to say like, hey, I have something that might help you here because I was ashamed and I didn't want people to know my secret. And that's kind of what did it was and I think it was sort of always inevitable, that I was going to eventually come to terms with like, this is what you have to do. But it was really scary. Telling my wife was not that hard. Telling my family was really hard. And honestly, I might never have done it except I got a book deal. And it was like, I wrote the book, I had a publisher, and I told my family, like, I have to tell you something. I was secretly drinking. I got sober and I wrote a fucking self-help book. And I think that was probably the most shocking part to them was that I wrote a self-help book. It was completely off brand for me.